Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2021 Chevy Silverado RST Duramax. Up front is a 3.0 liter turbocharged diesel inline 6, and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Silverado for two main reasons. First of all, it's a inline 6 diesel, which is new for the 2020 model year. So this is only 1 year into the 3.0 diesel. Let's see how it does. But the second reason I'm super excited is because this truck is owned by my good friend Nick. He has a YouTube channel as well called Today We Wrench, and that'll be left in the description below. He does a bunch of Sea-Doo stuff like Sea-Doo jet skis and Mark IV Supra stuff, so stay tuned. But before we get on with the rest of the video, if you are interested in helping out the channel, there are some links in the description below for some products that go towards helping the channel. There is a suction cup license plate from Con Plates. There's a fixed OBD2 Bluetooth sensor to help diagnose your car issues, and there is Cash for Cars that helps you sell your vehicle quickly. Again, if you'd like to help out the channel, please click the links in the description below. Let's get on with the video. But let's get back to that 3.0 liter diesel inline 6 that has been turbocharged. That's what we're gonna spend a majority of this review talking about. Well, like I said, it's new for the 2020 model year and is a departure from the standard 6-liter Duramax found in previous generations. That engine is now reserved for the heavy-duty trucks like the 2500 and the 3500. GM has been using Duramax diesels for a very long time, since about the late 90s, and I've always liked them. I've always thought that they did a nice job, that they were easy to drive, easy to manage, and made respectable power. In terms of horsepower and torque, it only makes 277 horsepower. However, it makes 460 foot-pounds of torque, reaching 95% peak torque at just 1,250 RPM. Now, it actually hits peak torque at 1,500 RPM, which lasts till about 3,000 RPM, which is great for towing, getting going, and just power numbers. You have nearly immediate power, which is fantastic. Now, in terms of fuel economy, because this is a daily driven truck, I can actually present to you some real world numbers. Right now, the average for this pickup truck is 22.2 miles per gallon, which is fantastic for a large vehicle like this. However, the owner, Nick, has gotten it to get 35 miles to the gallon on the highway. Now, of course, there's probably a little bit of a tailwind and maybe it was a little downhill, but 35 miles to the gallon is decently achievable in a truck like this. Again, this is completely stock. It doesn't have any of those deletes I heard online about. Now, if you do want the diesel engine, which I highly suggest, the cheapest you can get the diesel is $44,000, which is quite a bit of change. And the diesel is available in the LT, RST, which is this, LTZ, and High Country. It is not available as a work truck, custom Trail Boss, or LT Trail Boss. So the Trail Boss does not get the optional diesel engine. All this being said, you can tow up to 9,500 pounds with this here Duramax, and that is beautiful. That's a really solid number. You're gonna be able to tow your car on a trailer, your boat, your jet skis, whatever it may be. Let's see what kind of power this makes. We are fully warmed up. Shifting at just above 4,000 RPM, you feel the torque. It's not fast, but you definitely feel the torque, all 460 foot-pounds of it. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 10-speed automatic transmission, and a lot of GM owners have a lot of thoughts on these. Some people like it, some people hate it. It's the 10L80E transmission, and honestly, I've always liked it. I think it shifts really quietly, it shifts really smooth, and that's all I can really ask for a transmission in these videos. Now, you can get an 8-speed that comes with the V8, the 5.3-liter V8 found in other Silverados. So if you prefer an 8-speed, you have to drop down to gasoline for that. Last but not least, of course, this here Silverado is 4-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. We have some things to talk about in here. but not too much. Well, in front of me, I have a bunch of different gauges. It's very stereotypical of Silverados. On the left, I have my tachometer. Then I have my oil pressure, coolant temperature, fuel, and battery up at the top. And then on the right, I have my speedometer. I do have a configurable screen in the center as well. I'll flip through a couple of the different pages right now, and I like it. It has a lot of different colors, which I always look for in gauges like this is it colorful? Colorful means quality to me, because a lot of cars have one color, two color, three maybe colors. But this has a pretty wide spectrum of colors, which I really, really like, and just to me, that speaks volumes. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my cruise control options, as well as my heated steering wheel. And on the right, I have my controls for that gauge cluster screen we just talked about, phone options, voice commands, things of that nature. I do have the shifter around the back of the steering wheel. It is a column style shifter that I can plus minus for hills, things like that. Really, really nice. And then to the left of me, I have my trailer mode and I have my four-wheel drive settings. 4 high, 2 high, 4 low, and automatic. So you definitely get some customization when it comes to your drive wheels. I, of course, also have my headlights, dome lights, interior lights, cargo lights, all that ran off of one switch. And down below that, I have my power parking brake. Moving on to the door, I have my lock and unlock up top and my power windows and power mirrors down below that. I also get this nice sort of wood grain finish, which I quite like. Moving into the center, we have pretty typical GM infotainment. All right, so let's talk Silverado infotainment. I've talked about it multiple times here on the channel, but here's a refresher in case you haven't seen those videos. Speaking of which, I will leave a gas Silverado from 2020 review at the end of the video if you're interested in that. But we have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is very nice. We also have our trailering, so we can hook up connections, maintenance, vehicle checklist. This is really nice for gooseneck, fifth wheel, conventional, things like that. Trailers, I can save trailers, so if you only tow your boat, you can actually save this and you can input the length and dimensions of it so the truck actually knows what you're pulling and can help better gauge or better set up your truck for that. And of course, just regular settings. Go home here, we have climate. We can run climate controls through the screen if we'd like. However, we do have physical ones down below, which I love. We'll talk about that later on. We have some apps that we can go to. We can search apps, my apps, things like that. This is a little bit slow, a little bit laggy for the loading screen, which you're seeing now, but I can get Amazon Alexa, Pandora, Maps, Spotify, some really cool features today. If you are a big NPR fan, you can get a custom app just for that, which is really nice. My Chevy, you could do custom settings for the driver. You could set up keys, things like that. I'm not going to mess with this, of course, because it is in my car. And then I can also go to camera. This is my backup camera view. So as you can see, as I turn the steering wheel, the lines on the screen actually move as well. Very, very nice feature. I always look for that in cars. This is just a straight line for lining up your trailer hitch. Very, very nice. And then I can zoom in on my trailer hitch to see how close I am. So you can see that little dot right there, that is the trailer hitch. Normally there would be a ball hitch if you were going to tow something, so you can line stuff up. There's a little camera on the tailgate, which helps you achieve this view, which is very, very nice. Nothing really too crazy about the infotainment besides that. I can set up a Wi-Fi hotspot, which is very nice, but pretty common in newer vehicles like this. Down below that, we have our radio controls, and then our climate controls. I do have dual zone climate, and I really, really like the newer style Chevy dials that I get in the climate controls. I've seen this in a couple of their newer products, and it actually gives the temperature on the sort of digital readout on the knob. I love the look of this. I think it feels very modern, feels special, and it's definitely really easy to see, which is important to me. Then I get my heated seat options down below my climate control knobs, and then I get a slew of buttons. I have my parking sensors on and off, automatic start stop on and off, my rear tailgate. I do have a power tailgate. I have my hazard switch, traction control, my outlet. We do have an outlet in the bed. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And then I have my hill descent control if you plan on taking this vehicle off-road. Super, super nice features. Love that. I have my trailer brake sensitivity, so I can adjust how sensitive my trailer brakes are if I am pulling a trailer with brakes on board. Then I have a USB-C and traditional USB outlet, 12-volt outlet, and a wall outlet, which is fantastic. I love all of the charging possibilities in this here Silverado. Speaking of which, I love the giant cubby that you get down below those chargers. So if you are charging a camera, phone, soldering iron, whatever it might be, you can rest it down below here. It has a nice little spot all its own. Then we do get cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the diesel Silverado, and it passes. I'm very, very happy to see that passes. Most trucks tend to pass, certainly the F-150 passes, so it's nice to see that other manufacturers have followed suit. Then I have a giant center console with a bunch of different chargers, cubbies, and things like that. I also have an aux in if that's something you would want. And then we gotta talk about the seats. The seats are heated and they are power. However, they're nothing really to write home about. They look presentable, they look nice, but they're not really special in any way besides those few. However, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2021 Chevy Silverado Duramax, and wow. I mean, back here, my knees don't have a prayer of hitting the seat in front of me. Really, really nice. Tons and tons and tons of space back here. I mean, really more than adequate. Super, super awesome. I do have my own cup holders here. I also have a USB-C, traditional USB, and 12-volt outlet. I don't get a wall outlet, and I would have liked to have seen that just because, you know, having kids back here, if they want to charge up their Bop It or whatever, I would have liked to have seen a charger back here. Not the end of the world at all. That is super nitpicky, and I'm not really mad about it. I do have a center console here for 2 cup holders, little armrests, and then I also have these nice storage containers inside the seats. So I'll actually move over here, and you can see my seat right here actually opens up, and actually in this one there is a extension cord for the block heater because this is a diesel. This one came with a block heater. You can plug it in the winter to help on cold starts, but Chevy says that you really only need that block heater in negative 22-degree weather or below. So not super often here in Chicago, but we have gotten down to negative 40 in the past. Don't come visit. But I like the storage options. Really, really nice for the Silverado. But speaking of storage, let's go take a look at the bed. So we're on the back of the 2021 Silverado Duramax, and something I want to show here on the key. Hit it twice. Boom. Just like that. Now I have this really nice tonneau cover that goes up above it. I can fold this up. But taking a look inside the bed, nothing really too crazy. I have this spray-in bed liner. Nothing really fancy or anything like that. However, I do have a outlet. So as we talked about up on the dash, there's a button to turn this on and off. You can turn this outlet on and off. However, it does say 120 volt, 400 watt outlet. Super, super nice. Nothing really else to say back here. I get standard tie downs at all 4 corners. You're going to be able to haul whatever you want back here. The last thing I want to mention is with this tailgate is just how light it is. This is incredibly light. I mean, incredibly light. My 85-year-old grandmother is going to be able to lift that tailgate up, which is fantastic. As we talked about earlier, these are the backup cameras. This one is for your trailer hitch, which is really, really nice. But anyway, that is that. Now we got to talk about the looks. And I love this white on black look. I think it looks really, really sporty. I think it's definitely a modern and fresh look. And of course, the Silverado was redesigned not too long ago, so it still looks fresh and modern in that respect as well. I'm not the biggest fan of the exhaust tips around the back. They kind of look like HDMI ports. Not nearly as bad as the Honda Civic, but still HDMI ports nevertheless. And that, I have to say, would be my only complaint. Now let's talk about the Chevy Silverado Duramax diesel from 2021 as a whole. What do I think about this truck? Well, as the owner Nick put it before I jumped into his truck, I wouldn't buy any other truck. I really, really love this truck. And I think the nicest thing about it is the fact that I jumped in, I hit the on button, and I don't feel like I'm driving a diesel. I'm not driving a heavy duty truck, so it still rides like a normal truck. It doesn't sound loud, it doesn't sound clangy, and it actually revs when I put my foot into it like a normal truck. It revs like a gasoline truck. It's not this old that we're so used to with diesels. You know, whenever I think of a diesel, I automatically think of the school bus I used to ride to junior high, the old 7.3 liter Navistar, whatever, thingamahoo. But this, if I jumped into it not knowing, I wouldn't suspect the fact that it was a diesel. Even the diesel Mazda CX-5 was noticeable that it had a diesel engine. It sounded different, drove a little different. But this, honestly, I can't tell. And yet I get so many perks of it being a diesel. 9,500 pound towing capacity. Fantastic. 460 foot-pounds of torque. Fantastic. Up to 35 miles to the gallon. Fantastic. I think finally I can confidently say that there is no driving difference between a diesel and a gasoline engine. And I love that. People like to argue with me all the time that diesels are louder, they're clangier, it sounds like tin, it sounds like this, it drives like that. And those were valid arguments in the past, but not anymore. I can't really ask a 1500 truck to do anything more or to be anything more. This truck is everything I need and more. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Nick for letting me take out his diesel Silverado. These are a little hard to find currently at the moment with COVID and lockdowns and vehicle shortages and things like that. So I'm super thankful that I was able to get my hands on one through Nick. Nick has been absolutely awesome. He's been a supporter of the channel for a very long time. I actually reviewed his supercharged ISF back in the day, if you've seen that review. And so he got this to tow around his new project, Mark IV Supra, which might be on the channel maybe some point in the future. But he's absolutely awesome. He has his own YouTube channel as well called Today We Wrench. It'll be found in the description below. Please go check it out. He puts out really, really good content, and I can't thank him enough. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.